Hello and welcome to the NHL Best Bets. Yesterday there were 5 games in playoffs. We had a picks for 2, and here we can go through our not so great results this time. 2 coin flip games that turned to the opponents. Edmonton in Winnipeg started their summer holiday by losing overtime to home team 3-4, and this was a big disappointment for Edmonton that was playing reasonably well during the regular season, but couldn't win a single game in playoffs. And then important game in East Division, Islanders in Pittsburgh, another overtime. So when Winnipeg win in third overtime, this was in second overtime, goals 3-2 for Islanders, and they are leading now the series, also same numbers, 3-2. Tommy, any comments?
Both games very close. Could have gone either way, really. With these values, would probably make these picks again. Edmonton Oilers, massive disappointment, swept by Jets. Jets had a lot of trouble in the late of the regular season, bounced back very nicely from there, and then beat Edmonton in their own game, scoring more goals. And very disappointing performance from Oilers overall, but from those top guys, unacceptable sort of thing. There might be some heads falling in Edmonton as well. Let's see if somewhere else. But Edmonton, again, a massive disappointment in the springtime. This game, of course, a little bit of a coin flip in a way. So not too disheartened by Jets sweeping. Very nice win for Winnipeg Jets, who we've been rooting for throughout the season. In Pittsburgh, similar sort of thing. Islanders have now massive mental advantage over the Penguins. They won 2 times in overtime. Going to New York, really difficult place to play, not only for Penguins but for any other team. And Islanders have the upper hand now. So Penguins on the verge of also a massive disappointment. It's been a while since they've actually won a playoff series. They would have to win this next game, of course, to continue the season. But this game, they could have won. They outshot Islanders. I think by 30 shots or something like that, but couldn't score. Sorokin was extremely good in Islanders' goal, and maybe a little bit of weak goaltending from Pittsburgh Penguins caused them to lose this game. Not to blame the goaltender, it's a team effort, but sometimes small things matter, and this time Tristan Jarry could not keep his team in the game, and in a way deserved win for Islanders, who were relentless throughout the game. Very bad loss for Penguins. Let's see how they pick themselves up in this do or die game next time.
Yeah, Pittsburgh goaltender assisted crucial final goal, so those are unforced errors that you shouldn't do in NHL playoffs, second overtime, and that was maybe the single key decider that this game went to the Islanders.
Yeah, it's very fitting that it was a Penguins goaltender doing this, because Penguins play with a massive risk all the time. So usually it's not these grave errors that cause the team to lose, but some other smaller things that accumulate and add up to the loss. But this time it was just a single occurrence that did actually decide the game.
While Winnipeg was able to clinch the series, Vegas at home and Tampa on the road couldn't do it. They are now leading their respective series 3-2 against Minnesota and Florida, that took victories by good performances by the goaltender there, especially the Florida's Spencer Knight. That was a surprising call to the goal yesterday, and he provided very stable goaltending there when we have been maybe a bit disappointed to Sergei Bobrovsky, who is $10 million guy now in popcorn section in the stands.
Yeah, when someone fails, it's always an opportunity for some other guy, and now it was Knight who stepped up. Florida has 2 great goaltenders in Knight and Drieger, Bobrovsky maybe not so let's say good this playoff run, so maybe he will stay in the popcorn division and these two guys will then share the load, but it is still a lot of ice hockey to be played. Florida Tampa, an interesting series, still a couple of games maybe going from them.
Yeah, and especially now in this series when Vegas didn't clinch the game at home, they are going to the road and basically there's no more home arena advantage. Vegas was higher in the regular season, so they will play the final decider 7th game if Minnesota can win also at home.
Yeah, that's an interesting matchup there, and we did not expect Minnesota to play as well as they did last night. It was actually all these games were won by the underdog. This time we picked the wrong ones though, but a great performance by Minnesota Wild, showing again that they're a relentless team. They did never give up and managed to beat Vegas in their home ice, but I do still think that Vegas is a better team from these two.
We have been struggling a bit during the playoffs with our picks, but how about Machine? Has the simulations provided good results also in playoffs?
Yeah, decent results. Before last night, the side value was there was 30 playoff games played. We had 17 correct, 13 incorrect, and plus 364 profit, which is about 112% return of investment. So a decent result, pretty similar to what we had in the regular season. So good going on. Let's hope that we pick up. Last night was not the best of nights. We only got one game correct. The Minnesota winning in Vegas. So let's try and pick up from here.
Tonight there is only 2 games, and we have changed now to the total betting. Nashville in Carolina, even series 2-2, and recently there has been 6 and 8 goals in this series, but we think that goaltenders which have played very well will even improve the performance and limit the amount of goals in this game. And then Toronto-Montreal back-to-back game there. Toronto has struggled a little bit with the scoring when we think about their ammunition there, and this time it looks like it's time to make few goals extra compared to previous ones. Plus 110, very good odds for this over bet in Toronto-Montreal game.
Yeah, let's go first to this Carolina-Nashville game. Both of these teams are more defensive than offensive. That being said, Carolina, of course, has the weapons in the offense as well. If they would be able to control the game, they would probably score more goals. But this time, I do think that now it's all even series 2-2. It's back to 0 point. Both teams do not want to be opening up their play anymore. The last 2 games were not likely games to happen, especially for Nashville. They don't want these games to go in these sort of open offensive things because they are not very good at that. Nashville starts to play better defense. Juuse Saros, of course, played extremely well already. Will continue to keep his net almost clean or as clean as possible. And same thing goes for Carolina's defense and the goaltender. They're probably going to approach a little bit more defensively than before. So this under is a very nice bet with this value. So in simulation, 66% going under 5.5 goals, which has been the similar trend throughout the season between these teams. Both have such great goaltending and defense that probably in playoff environment, they try to shut it down more than those 2 last games indicate. Last time these teams faced in Carolina, it was 3-0 for the home team, so a clear under there as well. And then the other pair, it's a bit tricky, Montreal-Toronto. Montreal tries to play defense. That's the way they can win the game. But Toronto needs to add up to their offense. Now they've only scored 2 goals in the last game. Not very good performance offensively overall in this series. They have the upper hand. Now on the road, the second game, we have 52% going over. So good odds for this game to go over. I think that Toronto is so much better team that in order to win this game, they do have to score goals, and they are capable of doing that against Montreal Canadiens. So let's go with the over in this one.
How about these big favorites, or at least some kind of favorites, Toronto and Carolina here? Is there any value to bet those teams, or are the odds just too low?
The odds are too low for us, but we do root for the favorites here. We have in Carolina, the Hurricanes are 66.5% favorites. The odds minus 170, so not enough for us to play, but there is more value. And similar in Montreal, Toronto is favored by 70%, while the odds are minus 189, so around 65%. So there is value for these favorites, but the odds are such lousy ones that we're not going to go for that. We try with the goals this time.
And like we yesterday discussed, this Pittsburgh New York Islanders series, similar kind of probability is in Carolina Nashville game. So this number 5 game winner is clearly taking the driver's seat to go the next round. So if it's Carolina who wins at home, they have over 80% chances. If it's Nashville who will take, they have over 75% chances based on the historical numbers of different kind of series. And then when we think about Toronto Montreal, naturally it's also a crucial game, especially for Montreal, that is 2-1 behind here. And if Toronto wins, they have almost 92% probability to win this series, and if it's 2-2, then still Toronto has the higher hand, almost 60% probability, but of course Montreal has then some kind of chances still.
Yeah, those are interesting numbers, and I hope that the players do not think too much about it, because these are the mind games that if you start to think that, okay, if we lose this one, we still have a lot of chances, it's fine, no worries, that's not going to work. So you have to be playing every game like it would be your last of the season. So I do hope that Toronto, the way these previous games have gone, I do think that Toronto has more room for improvement than Montreal. So Montreal is playing at high level, especially defensively, but I don't know if they are able to improve a lot. Toronto definitely has a lot of room to play better than we've seen in these past 3 games.
Yeah, let's see which team will face Winnipeg, that has now a nice rest after sweeping Edmonton, and any of these teams it will be, it's for sure a difficult matchup, because Winnipeg has now found their way of playing again after a bit miserable end of the regular season.
Yeah, it will be a good thing for Winnipeg Jets that they get a little bit of a rest last night. Those bigger guys especially were pretty gassed in the end of the game. So good thing for them to get a little bit of a rest and maybe play a little bit more energetic than in the next game, whoever they're facing.
Let's see how these 2 games go tonight, and how our total betting experiment results after a few not so great nights by the winner bets. But this is playoffs, things will happen.
Yeah, interesting games anyway.
See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.